Good evening, everybody. My name is Raúl A. Mora. I'm the chair of the Literacies in Second Languages Project, a research initiative in Colombia, in Medellín, Colombia, exploring all these issues related to literacies in today's world, in today's contexts. We are launching a new initiative that we call LSLP in Session. These are a series of professional webinars and professional development workshops that we're going to host via Google Hangouts and YouTube, where we'll discuss different topics related to academic scholarship, research, and literacy at large. Today, we decided to start with a topic that, although it's in English, it's very, very germane to Colombian researchers and anybody who wants to do research in Colombia. I'll give a little bit of context before we start. We have in Colombia an organization that is called Colciencias, which is the national institute, the national organization in charge of science and technology. Part of what Colciencias does is keep track of all the research groups and the researchers that are affiliated in Colombia. If you are a researcher doing work in Colombia, one of the things you have to do is fill out this form called the CvLac. CvLac is an acronym that stands for the Curriculum Vitae for Latin America and the Caribbean. Anybody who does it, anybody who wants to be part of research groups or wants to do research should fill out this curriculum vitae. And what we're going to do tonight is actually do a live demonstration using data from one of our researchers, Marjorie Giraldo, who just graduated from the BA program. And I'm going to show you how to fill out the CvLac. We do it in English again because that's the point of our research group, but I'll be using English and Spanish as I go in the presentation. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to share screen. The screen you see right now, is the opening screen for CvLac. So I'm going to start filling out some of the data that we have, and I'm going to expand a little bit, to 125, 150%. At some point, I'm going to be blanking out because there is some personal sensitive information from the researcher, so I don't want to show it, and I'll return to the screen. So here's what we do. So you're going to go to the link, and I will put the link in the comments later at the Colciencias website. And then you have the first page. When I find the first main page says personal data. And to create your curriculum, please fill out each of the data coming next. Anything with an asterisk is mandatory. And when you have filled out the information, you should click in accept. So let's begin to fill this out with our researcher. So in the name, since she only has one name, you fill out Marjorie. And you fill out her first family surname, and then her mother's maiden name, Giraldo. The next one says nombre en citaciones bibliográficas. Maybe your full name is not the name you use when you write down your name. And here's a suggestion for all beginning researchers. When you choose one name, stick to that name for the rest of your career. Because otherwise, if you're trying to keep track of your academic production on Google Scholar or ORCID or Scopus, it's going to be difficult if you have multiple names attached to it. So in the case of Marjorie, she just writes down like this, Marjorie Giraldo. Then you're going to look at nationality. It says Colombia. I mean, there are different options. If you're from the Caribbean, then you have Brasilera, Chilena, Mexicana, Ecuatoriana, and then if you're not from that, you're from the United States, Russia, somewhere in Europe, you just fill out extranjero-otra. So that's for foreigners, for international researchers not from Latin America or the Caribbean. Then you're going to write down your ID number. And at this point, I'm going to stop sharing for a moment. And I'm back because I need to write down her cedula number, and I don't want to show that in public. But right now, I'm just writing down her ID number. in the case of international researchers, what you would fill out would be your passport. If you're a Colombian resident you're a foreign resident in Colombia and you have the official document called Cédula Extranjería, that's the one you fill out. Then you're going to choose the city, and I'm going to show here for one moment. I'll go back to the here, and then you have here this. It's a selection or search of municipality, and then you're going to type out your country, which is Colombia. In the case of the province, which is Antioquia, and then the city, in her case, is Medellín. And then you're going to click on Save. I'll close again for 1 second. Oh. And I'm going to stop for 1 second again. And then here I'm going to get back to screen share. And then you see I already filled out the city. And as I said here, and sorry, for some reason I didn't share, so I'll show you again that. It says select the country, Colombia, the province, Antioquia. Now, if you have all the countries. So when you have a different country, you don't have to worry about the province. You just add a city, and then one, Medellín, guardar. Then here, you're gonna choose gender, so female, marital status, single, and you're gonna write down a password. And I'm just making up a password. Yes, I think you type the password again. And you're going to choose the information about date of birth. So you have Colombia. You do the same thing as you did before. And then you go country, Colombia, province, Antioquia, city, Medellín, and you save. And you're going to write down the day of birth. So you just have to go back in time. This takes a little while. I apologize for that. Colombian researchers can relate to this sometimes, but we're heading back to almost there. Oh, sorry, 1989. Then the month of February and February 1st. Terms and conditions, you say yes, and then you save this. And you have, now Marjorie has a CvLac profile. And when you open this new dialog box, you're going to find some information here. General data, participation in research groups, formative activities, evaluative activities, social and knowledge circulation appropriation, art production, bibliographic production, technical and technological production, other work, projects, acknowledgements, and other information that relates to, like in this case, more advanced researchers. So I'll just begin to put in. And here we have, when you got the general data, we have identification, home address, professional address. I'm going to start with this one, academic education. And here, so what we're going to do, I'm going to bring it to 125, is provide a new item. So here what we're going to do is begin to fill out your education. So Marjorie just finished her undergraduate degree. So we write down pregrado universitario, which is college, bachelor's level. The institution, you're going to click on select. And we write down the name. In this case, Universidad Pontificia Bolivariana. Then you click on search institution, and you look at the options, and you got, and in this case, it's Medellín. The city, it's not in Valle del Cauca, same procedure, Colombia, Antioquia, Medellín, and you save. Then the academic program, we can a quick search, and we can use one of the keywords, in this case, licenciatura, because that's what you call a bachelor's in English in education in Colombia. There are, since this is the first time she does it, we have to create the program. So you go to crear programa académico, create academic program, and then Universidad Pontificia, and you can write down here licenciatura Inglés Español. Here's where it gets tricky. So you have to fill out a knowledge area. So we're going to click on add, and we're going to open this dialog box. And you have three: greater area, area, specialty. Since this is an education, we are going to begin in social sciences. Area, then we look for education sciences, and specialty, we would say general education. And then we click on this little arrow here that says añadir, that's add. And we already have it here, and you can click where it says guardar or save. You can go back, and right now we have it. Título obtenido, you write down the name, which is licenciado Inglés Español. Hours per week, let's just say 20. Beginning date, we could say January 2012 or 2013. Graduation date, Marjorie graduated this past month, February 2017. Here they require the grade point average. I don't have that information, but I'm sure Marjorie can just come online and do that herself. Thesis title, that one I have it, since I also had the honor and the privilege of being her thesis director. So thesis title, I'll just put it right here. I'm gonna open here big. The influence will be the literacy on second language learner of 21st century students. The assessment, well, it's approved. Tutor's full name, then I just write down my name, Raúl Alberto Mora. Here's acta de grado. I'll explain that quickly for our folks abroad. Acta de grado is a report that they give you with information of when you graduated, your thesis title, and other relevant information. On scholarships, no, to the best of my knowledge, but of course you can always come back and save and edit this information later. But right now, Marjorie already has her undergraduate degree filled out in the information. Let's see what else we have here. That's we're gonna leave that for later. I want to move into the main. Now I want to move into this, which is academic production. And let me again a little bit. 175. So here we have article, research book, and other kinds of bibliographic production. So you could have working documents, other publications, other articles published, books published, chapters and translations. Looking at Marjorie's CV, she has an article that was published. So we need to go into another article published. I'll explain that very quickly for everybody in the audience, and I'll just stop presenting for a little bit, just so you can see me again, and I'm back. When we talk about publications and we say articles and other articles, what we're talking about, it's articles refers to any papers and manuscripts you published in a peer-reviewed journal that ideally has indexation process. Other articles published is anything that you published in journals that may, or magazines that may not necessarily be peer-reviewed or that are not necessarily under indexation process. That is the main difference. So let's go back to the screen again. And in the case of Marjorie, we're going to create another article published. So here we have the basic information. I'll put it down to 150. You look at the kinds of articles. They say like journals and newspapers. Revista Divulgación is a non-indexed journal that kind of publishes articles that are not necessarily scientific or research articles at the time, letters to the editor, book reviews, and op-eds. So let's look at the title of the article that Marjorie published in 2015. It's right here in Spanish, La Sociología como precursora de la investigación en educación. Initial page is page 227. Ending page is 240. The language is in Spanish. The year is 2015, and the month it was published was in July. Buscar. Vista textos. This is the one. Yeah, so this one that says here, Revista Textos, Facultad de Educación, Cuarta Jornada del Maestro Investigador. That is the one. So you make a search, and then you click on the one that corresponds to your journal, and you say vincular, I mean like add it, and it's right here. Volume, then it's 20. You perform another search, like the one before. Country, Colombia. Department, Antioquia. City, Medellín, and you save it. Outlet means you can say paper or electronic. This one was paper. Since we don't have neither a website or a DOI, you save it. And here you go. You have all the information there. And then you can go back. And here we have the article. It's already there. So now we have covered Marjorie's article. And now let's go. Let's see what else. Oh, yeah. And now let's look at here, social appropriation and knowledge circulation. So what we have in this one, and again, I'm going to go back into 175. So you can see there are 4. Specialized knowledge circulation, knowledge communication, knowledge exchange and transfer, and city participation. We're going to go into this one because it's the one that Marjorie has the majority of her work. You have edition, scientific event, research report, and networks. So we're going to start here with scientific event. So when we talk about scientific event, we are basically talking about conferences, like internationals, ARA, LRA, ICQI, or local conferences. And I'm going to go back here. I'm going to stop here for a second, and I'll go back to pop up. It's very important when you're filling your CV, or in this case, the CvLac, keep in mind that anything you've done in terms of your academic production fits somewhere in the CvLac. In the case of CvLac, there is a place for everything you've done as an academic. Local events, international events, national events, you name it, you're going to have a place for that. What you need to do is look carefully within the information on the navigation bar and find one that fits what you're doing. So let's go back once again to the screen. And so here you have, and right now it's empty. There's nothing. So it says, coming next, you can visualize the information of the scientific events that you have registered. To register a new one, just click on the link, create scientific event. So let's click on this one. And then, okay, back to 150 so we can see the whole thing. And here you have all the information. So here we have, let's begin with the first one I have here from 2016. So here we have, here you start with the name of the event. So this is the event. It was La Universidad de Antioquia. The event, seminar, international. I mean, the name is international seminar. So it was in Mexico City. So we have to go back and do the classic search, Colombia, Antioquia, Medellín, and save. Starting date. That one was last year. It was in August. I think it was August 4th. We'll revise later. It's not much of a problem. You can say lugar del evento, Universidad de Antioquia, Medellín. Kind of link, kind of connection. You have organizer, keynote speaker, or plenary speaker, speaker attendant, proceedings editor, or simultaneous translator. In the case of Marjorie, she was a presenter. Here you can say you can register a presentation, a poster session, or a proceedings chapter. In this case, it's this. So kind of presentation, that, and then the name of the presentation is this one. It's getting to know our city through English literacy practice research, a pre-service teacher experience. The presentation was held, and I think it was again August 4th. Language, you're gonna look for the multiple options, and you have almost every option. You find English, country Colombia, finance institution, or like the sponsoring, then you can say the name, Universidad Pontificia Bolivariana, search for institution, sede Medellín, sponsoring because she was a student and this was under a research project we were doing, so you save it. And here you have the information is already there. Let's try another one. Let's try now one that's going to look very nice on Marjorie's CV in the near future. The name of the event, it's the LRA conference. For those who don't know what LRA is the Literacy Research Association. That was an event that Marjorie actually attended as presenter last year in Nashville. Kind of event, Congress, boundary, international, municipality. Oh, and here's where it gets interesting. So this is perfect because now we get to do one that is international. So you have to select the country and you have to scroll down all the way to the U. Sorry, to the E, my bad. I was thinking in English, but E, because it's Estados Unidos. Province, no, it's not, doesn't apply. And then city, you have to create one. And then you can say here, Nashville, Tennessee, and you save it. So now it's here, Estados Unidos, Nashville, Tennessee. Beginning date, that was 2016. April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. November 30th, that was Wednesday. If you know the ending date, like in our case, for example, and we know the ending date, we remember the ending date for this one. It's not mandatory, but it's not a bad idea, and it's an important suggestion. If you remember the ending date of the conference, it's important to write it down. So this one ended on December 3rd. Place of the event, again, it was the city, Nashville, Tennessee. Same thing, presenter. Registered presentation, title of the presentation, Windows Walls and TISA Second Language Literacies in Medellín, a multimodal analysis of urban cultural spaces. And here we go. There's the title. This one, we presented it in December. This was the second day of the conference. So this was actually December 1st. Language, you look for the language again. It always looks like English. Country, again, scroll down all the way to E, as in Estados Unidos. Finance institution, the same thing. Sede Medellín. Guardar. Now here's other things you have to do. So when you have a presentation, there are more presenters. So you have to register all those presenters. And you can just look and you start searching. So you just perform a search and you write down, for example, name, and you can write down Raúl Alberto Mora. You're going to find down my name, Raúl Alberto Mora Vélez, and you click on add and you close. Let's see if we can find another one. I think she has a CvLac, and it's Tatiana Chiquito. You're going to find Tatiana Chiquito Gomez, and you add. There are 3 others, but I don't want to go. I want to leave it here for now, and then we close. Oh, and then you can add. So you start adding here and say presenter, and you save, and you continue. So now have Marjorie, and you have me. You register another one, and you can just register Tatiana, same as presenter, and you save. And you continue. And now you have everybody who was a presenter in this event. Let's see another one that's important. I think that should be probably the last one we're going to do for the night, which is projects. It's very important. If you have participated on a research project on any capacity, it's very important that you sign up for that. So in this case, Marjorie has been a participant as a researcher in several projects at LSLP. So I'm just going to create one. Here you got research and development, innovation, which is this one. The name of the project. Then the name of the project that was assigned is this one. English literacy and agriculture in Medellín City. This project began in 2014 and it started in July 2014. Institution, same thing as always. What it says here, the project is financed, or usually if you get a little bit of funding, even if it's just to pay some of the hours of the lead researcher, then you have to leave it as financed. Every project should have a file number. Ours is this one, which is the file number that the university provided. I don't remember at this particular point. Here you can put also the project because it's the same one. Internal. Here, talk about your role in the project. You can say here, undergraduate student. And then here you have some information that you have to fill out. Integrantes, tituladas. Here you can also, so there you go. So now we have this information, and then you can, and for example, here you can link this to the project. And you go back. And you go back. So that, and then you can see what it looks like. Then you can go to here, imprimir curriculum, and you can look at the curriculum and see what it looks like. And this is what we have so far for Marjorie. We have her academic background, scientific events that she's presented at, publications, and then the project that she's in. We're almost running out of time, and I just wanted to make a very brief introduction to this. The trick, and I've been working on my CvLac for almost 12 years, since I started as a doctoral student when I was at Illinois. And this is one of the tricks for people who are beginning. If you're beginning your career in Colombia, and you are already part of a research group or a student research group, what we call Semillero de Investigación, go and fill out your CvLac now. Start early. Don't wait until you've graduated. Don't wait until you're a professor to start doing it, because it's going to take forever. It's going to take months. So start gradually and keep this updated. Every time you present somewhere, go to the system, fill out the information. If you're a student and you have questions on how to fill this out, talk to your professor. Talk to the lead researcher in your group. Talk to the lead researcher in your project. They are most of them have a lot of experience, and they know how to work this out. But it's very important, if you want to do research in Colombia, and that goes to all of our colleagues at some point who want to be, let's say, in our case of LSLP, you want to be more involved with us and you want to do like actual research with us, this is something you'll have to do. The advantage is if you are an international researcher with us and you want to do this, we will help you. We will take care of you. For the rest of you, I hope this brief tutorial was clear enough. That it gave you some information, it gave you some ideas on how to start doing this. If you want to get in touch with us and ask more questions about CvLac, we'll be happy to get in touch with you. You can email us. Our email address is literaciesinl2, literaciesinl2 project@gmail.com. I repeat, literaciesinl2 project@gmail.com. And we would love to hear your comments. We would love to hear what you have to say about this. And who do we have here? Oh, and just before we go, Marjorie Marjorie's here. Hi, Marjorie.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Trying to get home with this crazy traffic.
Well, but welcome. And Marjorie, we just finished filling out we just already started your CvLac. Congratulations.
Good to know.
Well, here's what you need to know, and I'm gonna just show this, and just because I actually love to show this, because it's important for everybody to know. This, I'm gonna erase something here because this is irrelevant, but I'm just gonna write down here Marjorie Giraldo, and we're gonna show this a little bit bigger, and I'm gonna share the screen again, and this is Marjorie right now. Marjorie has. And she just graduated, less than a month ago, and she has her thesis, one article she published, and just look at how many presentations you have.
Yay.
You have 10. You have done 10 presentations for the time you've been here. So you have a lot of information to put in your CvLac.
I know.
I think, and for me as your tutor, as your mentor, I'm really excited that you've been able to do so much in the time you've been a researcher in our project. And for people out there, this is what I'm proud to show this, because these are our students, our undergraduate students, our master students who are working hard to turn LSLP into hopefully one of those, an example for how to do literacy research in South America and around the world. And we're just happy to share the work we're doing with everyone. So this is the end of the tutorial. I hope I was clear enough. I tried to speak slowly and try to show you point by point. Check out the video. Tell me what you think. Again, email us, leave a couple of comments, and let us know. And if you have any more questions about how to put this together, how to fill it out, please get in touch with us. We'll be happy to help those novice researchers in Colombia who have questions how to fill out the CvLac. We'll be happy to help you. We'll be happy to talk to you. So on this note, I bid farewell. I thank you for your time and your interest. I want to thank our LSLP researchers, Effie and Marjorie, who joined the conversation. On behalf of the LSLP Legion, the research team that I lead, I thank you for your time, and I'm really excited that we get to do this, and we'll be in touch very soon to promote our next LSLP in session. So thank you and good night.